don't know no nigga like me.
Alright guys, Fulo coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDVC. If you like this video, I advise you to like the video, and also if you want to, please feel free to subscribe to the page and just stay in the loop with the things we got going on the page. Now, my last video was about the fact that, Neighborhood Nip Hustle, that he's not a Ethiopian, that he is an Eritrean, that he basically is from the same neck of the woods as Ethiopian, but they have a distinct culture about themselves, and so this needs to be said, basically. But what I didn't talk about is the EPLF, the Eritrean People Liberation Front. And I also, basically the way it worked is I was put on that by his dad. His dad told me, what went down. His dad told me that was the reason why he came to the United States in the first place. You know what I mean? That this was the issue that was going down. Now, I told him that my father, took part in a liberation struggle for Guinea-Bissau and Cabo Verde. And, the crazy thing is he was already familiar with that. So, it's good to learn about different things. It's good to learn about different people and the events which make them the way they are, right? So, I'm not gonna lie. Being from West Africa, I'm a little bit biased towards West Africa. My knowledge is pretty limited on East Africa. My knowledge is pretty limited on Southern Africa. I can't front. But the one area of East Africa that I've been really tapping into is the Eritrean situation, because of the simple fact that, that they had a liberation struggle that, I wasn't really aware of. I mean, I really didn't know that much about it, to be honest with you, until I started researching very heavy. And I watched a couple of documentaries on this struggle. And the reason for this video is just to say that war is just one of the most unnatural things you can do. War should be the last result of any conflict. When I watched that thing, it sent shivers down my spine, because when you hear the mourning and the wailing of the women, even the guys wailing, because they're losing casualties to these conflicts. It's not cool. A human doesn't want to be in war. I can tell you from firsthand experience that my father, although he came out of the war unscathed, his psyche was very, very, it wasn't the same like other people. He can still function in normal society, but you can tell that the things he saw really left a mark on him, because Nobody wants to fight. Like armed struggle. Nobody, it's not fun. It is not a fun thing to do. And like, it's crazy because when you look at a lot of these wars, a lot of these wars are just based on money and greed. And it's like, you're willing to put human collateral on the line so you can meet your greedy purpose at the expense of humans. That's the thing. When you scratch below the surfaces of these wars, you find out there's a real sinister reason behind it, and it has nothing to do with restoring order, protecting and serving, or humans, or giving humans life, dignity, respect, and that thereof. It has absolutely nothing to do with those things. And you can just see it throughout history. When you look at the war with Vietnam, Vietnam was a result of basically, yeah, I hate to say it, I really hate to say this, but the Vietnam War was basically a result of America's greed for heroin. That was the bottom line. That was the bottom. When you get rid of everything else, it had to do with opium. They wanted opium. It had nothing to do with the quote unquote threat of communism in the region. Okay? And that war, because the intentions weren't pure, Ho Chi Minh did a number on them. Did a great number on them. Okay? When you look at the war with Afghanistan, it had nothing to do with 9/11. Afghanistan is rich in a lot of resources. A lot. It has a lot of resources, okay? Minerals, oil, and yes, also opium. Guess what? That war's still going on. War has not stopped. That war has lasted. Okay, it's lasted almost a decade now. It's still going on. And although these presidents have promised that they would get troops out of Iraq and get troops out of Afghanistan, the troops are still there. When you look at the war with Iraq, it had nothing to do with weapons of mass destruction. It had to do with the simple fact that Saddam Hussein decided that he wanted to switch currencies with oil. Libya, same thing. Syria, same thing. It has nothing to do with peace. And the sad thing is that the propaganda war is even worse. Because the propaganda war, Malcolm X said it best himself. I mean, Malcolm X said, if you're not careful, these newspapers will basically, if you're not careful, these newspapers will be having you hate the oppressed people and actually loving the oppressors. These were the words of Malcolm X. May God have mercy on his being. So I'm sorry, like, but this video, I just like, it just came into me to make because of the screaming you heard when you saw the EPLF struggle. You know, Ethiopia did a number. Although the EPLF was successful based on their guerrilla warfare tactics, the Ethiopia had like modern weaponry with it, which it used to basically carpet bomb parts of Eritrea, and this was sanctioned by, you guessed it, the United States, because the United States wanted to build a military base in Eritrea. That's why they didn't even vote for independence in the first place. It's because they wanted to build that military base. So the thing is about war is like, it's just like very, very much something that a human should not like want or even hope to engage in, you know? So, you know, people say that I'm like very, very, like, I guess you can say I'm very, very disrespectful because of the simple fact that, like, when it comes to like the national anthem or whatever the case may be, I don't really stand for it, you know what I mean? Because this isn't my country of origin as it is, you know what I mean? When it comes to the, I want to say the like Veterans Day and Memorial Day and these holidays, I really don't, like, I guess you can say, pay homage to these people for the simple fact that I've watched video of what goes down there. I've talked to someone who served in Iraq, and he's told me that he's had to Windex kids because he doesn't know if those kids are bombers. He doesn't know if those kids are armed. So he's had to Windex them, you know? And so how can I respect something like that? You know, how can I respect troops urinating on their corpse, you know? Like, there's a lot of videos that they show how they like disrespect them. And like, so it's like, I never got it, you know? That's why I would never encourage anybody to join the military, you know? There are benefits to it, and perhaps maybe the best thing you can do in the military would be to like do some like administrative work or something like that. But that's all I would suggest. But if it came to being on the front line or something, nah, man, forget that, man. Because 9 times out of 10, you are gonna kill someone innocent. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna happen like that, you know. So it's better to stay away from it, man. My dad didn't want to do that. My dad didn't want to do war. Are you kidding me? He would have chose peace over anything all day long. But simply, it's the fact of the matter is his peace wasn't available. Talking wasn't an option because the Portuguese, the French, they didn't want to hear it, right? And now let's look at the flip side to things. Forget war, like fighting a foreign enemy. How about urban warfare when you're fighting each other, man? And I've seen it in LA, okay? Although I am not by any means a gangbanger, okay? But when I first came to LA and first was getting up on my feet here, I had to stay on, basically I stayed on 59th and Slauson. That's where I stayed. When I first got to LA, I was on 59th and Slauson. So I was in the thick of things. I saw firsthand how it goes down. I know different people from different sets. So I was street smart about it, okay? When you actually talk to a gangbanger and actually sit down with them and really pick their mind, a lot of them are victims of circumstances, okay? And unfortunately, sometimes they're not mentally tough enough to make it out of them circumstances, because that's all you're surrounded with in your life. Because like their father gang bang, and their whole family was just basically in the stuff. Or if their family wasn't in it, they're just surrounded by it. You know, that has an effect on their psyche too. When you're shooting at your own brother, that affects them. But this war that occurs, I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all know this already, but this war is what funds keeping people in prison, keeping people dead for organs, and things of that nature. Okay? I'm not saying that we're not that like black people have no responsibility in this. But you have to understand something. Where would the jails be if black people, whether you are A. Trey Hoover, whether you're a neighborhood 6-0 Crip, whether you are Santana Block Pyru, whether you're a Cedar Block Pyru, whether you're a Queen Street Blood, whether you're a Hoover, whatever your affiliation is, where would they be if there was productivity and them doing things from the grassroots in their community? Where would the Los Angeles Twin Towers and the California State prisons be? Because now what they're doing now is they're expanding the Twin Towers. They're now expanding it. And it's already big already, okay? But now they're building it more. So this is what shows you why shooting, having gang enhancements and things like that is what it is. You know, gangbangers, you know, they see that crap so much they become numb to it. But the messed up thing is when you see the families who may not necessarily be gangbangers and you see casualties from this crap, you know, when you see, I've been there. I've actually had to hold a mother who was wailing, okay, wailing out of control because her son was, her son was wiped with the AK-47, okay, wiped clean off, okay. I had to be there to be the one to console her because when she got the news, I was, picking something up from her house. When she got the news, she just started wailing and fell down, okay? And then she just started crying. And I'm not gonna lie, I was almost about to be at tears when I like basically realized what happened. And so this mess ain't cool, man. Like, war under any circumstances is not cool. Nobody wants to do that crap, man. But it seems like someone does want to do it because they profit off of it. And you know, even with the situation in Latin America right now, it's just like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to go to war with a country that all they want to do is be sovereign? Why not come to the negotiation table and make deals with them so you can maybe become partners in the affair of getting business from them? Why go to war with them? Why destabilize them? Why destabilize the region and send it into war? It's not cool, man. It desensitizes you, and I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm going to end this video here. My dad showed me pictures of how it went down on the field, and it desensitized me. It basically made me desensitized now, and that's not cool, because a human being is naturally not like that. But when I hear about like things that go on, it's sad to say it, but I just like shrug my shoulders now. I'm like, what else is new? When I hear about like someone getting picked off, and I just say, well, prayers go to that person's family and things like that. But it's not cool to become numb to this, man. And I regret that I'm numb to it. Speaking from my experience, even just me being in LA for a while, having homies picked off, having my uncle died behind, basically my uncle who was in this country. I don't want to say too much, but he was a prisoner of war. He got killed in immigration. That really hit me hard. And that probably shaped why I'm the way I am right now when it comes to race relations. That was one of the reasons. And then after that, I just got like desensitized, man. And it's sad. Nobody wants to be like that, man. It's not natural to be like this. It's very unnatural. But when you see it every day, or you hear about it a lot, and when you witness it with your own eyes, how else are you supposed to become? Because if you become anyway else, that means that you may fall by the wayside. And it just is what it is, man. I mean, war is not cool. I'm just making this video because, like, it's messed up that war even exists. And I know war has existed throughout history. Okay? I understand that, but when it can be avoided, what's the need for it? These conflicts can be avoided. Conflicts with Iran, conflicts with North Korea, and everything like that could be avoided if this country would just give these countries their sovereignty and let these countries see fit to run their countries the way that they feel is best for their people. Because we can look at what democracy, or let's quote unquote say Westminster democracy, has done with Libya, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, and now we can add Bolivia to that list as well. And I'm going to end this with this note, that Westminster democracy has not penetrated Cuba or Eritrea, and you see the cause and effect of that. The effect of it is these vicious smear campaigns on both nations. I've been to Cuba, I'm going back to Cuba, and it's nothing farther than the truth. And God willing, I'm going to Eritrea as well. In fact, it looks like I got my visa to go there, so I will be going there soon because I was invited to go. And I guarantee you that although, like every country in the world, it has problems, I guarantee you the smear campaigns won't exist there once I get there. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now, man. Fuller signing out. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. Onjara.